What if I told you 75 people chose death over slavery? What if I told you they could have survived, but instead they walked into the ocean and never came back? This is not a myth, not a movie, not fiction. This is the Igbo Landing, a haunting and powerful story from history that still echoes today. Stay with me as we uncover what really happened, why it matters, and how it became a symbol of resistance, dignity, and courage. To fully understand this story, we need to go back to the early 19th century. Around the year 1803, a group of enslaved people from the Igbo tribe from what is now modern day Nigeria were captured and sold into the transatlantic slave trade. They were shipped across the ocean, locked in chains, taken far from their homeland. The ship brought them to the United States, to a place called St. Simon's Island in Georgia. But this wasn't just any arrival. It would become one of the most heartbreaking and inspiring moments in the history. Why were the Igbo so determined to fly? The Igbo people had a strong sense of community and identity. They were farmers, craftsmen, and leaders. They didn't see themselves as victims, and they weren't going to let anyone take their freedom without a fight. When the ship docked, the enslaved people were supposed to be sold into slavery, but they refused. They rose up against their captors. They fought back. They wouldn't let themselves be chained, whipped, or bought like animals. Some accounts say they overpowered the guards, some say they negotiated, but all sources agree on one thing: they chose not to be enslaved. The next part is the most haunting. Rather than surrender, the group of 75 walked into the ocean, holding hands one by one. They disappeared beneath the waves. Some were pulled under by the sea, some drowned together. They chose death, but in that choice, they made a statement that would echo through generations. Why would they do this? It's simple. They valued dignity, freedom, and self respect more than life itself. For the enslaved, there was no chance of survival. Life as a slave meant brutal labor, violence, and dehumanization. But choosing death on their own terms was an act of resistance, a way to reclaim their power. This event didn't end slavery. It didn't immediately change laws, but it sent a message that even when all seem lost, people can still fight. Today, Igbo Landing is remembered as a symbol of courage, a reminder that freedom is worth fighting for, even at the ultimate cost. So, how do we remember them? Over the years, the story of Igbo Landing inspired generations. African American folklore, spirituals, and movements for justice. Writers, activists, and historians have connected it to larger struggles for human rights. Songs like The Water is Wide reflect the pain of separation, while modern day movements like Black Lives Matter continue the fight against oppression. In St. Simon's Island today, you will find markers and memorials honoring the brave souls. School teach about their resistance, art and literature celebrate their spirit, and across the world, people study their story, not because it's a tragedy, but because it's a triumph of the human will. Why are we telling this story now? Because history is more than dates and wars. It's about people, choices, and courage. The Igbo Landing teaches us that oppression doesn't define us, how we respond does. It reminds us to stand up when injustice arises, to support each other, and to never give up to dignity. So, the next time you hear about struggles in the world, remember that long ago, 75 people held hands and walked into the sea, choosing freedom over life itself. Let this story inspire you to stand tall, speak up, and fight for what's right. Their legacy lives on through every voice that demands justice. Never forget, never give up, stand for freedom. Don't forget to give hype for this video.